there's big news from Lizzo today. That wasn't even on purpose. That was holy crap. Okay,
big news.
She just won an award. She just won an award on the heels of a new lawsuit. It's kind of crazy. She was given a humanitarian award just as this new lawsuit from a woman named Asha Daniels has come out.
She was honored with the Black Music Action Coalition's Humanitarian Award and surrounded herself with about 20 plus-sized women and said she's going to continue to amplify the voices of marginalized people because I have a microphone and I know how to use it. And I will continue to represent and create safe spaces for Black fat women because that's what the FI do.
Say fat?
Wow.
Yes.
This sounds like the Olympics of virtue signaling. This award show, I've never heard of this award show, but shout out to them.
She actually said fat?
This new lawsuit doesn't actually... Well, fat's not considered an insult anymore because of people like this. Okay. But her lawsuit doesn't actually accuse her of doing anything. It's somebody on her team. So it's not that interesting, but
I still think it's interesting because she makes a big deal about how she's the one in charge and it's her show. She's running the show. And when you're the one in charge, the buck stops with you. The lady's name is Asha Daniels, who was hired as a stylist for her. And she was hired by a woman on Lizzo's team named Amanda Nomura.
And she is skinny.
Yes.
The stylist is skinny, and she allegedly called Black women on the tour dumb, useless, and fat.
The Nomura lady called her that, not Asha Daniels. Asha Daniels is the one who's filing the suit. And then this all happens as Lizzo wins an award.
Oh my God.
and you have actual experience with Lizzo.
Yes.
So all these stories coming out about Lizzo not being nice, like why do we expect these celebrities to be, angelic savior beings? You know what I'm saying? Like I went to a party years ago. So my birthday was always on Fashion Week when I was living in New York, and I was never cool enough to go to Fashion Week parties on my own, but I had friends who could go, and I'm like, look, you don't have to get me anything for my birthday, but can I be your +1 to a cool party? So I went to a party in 2017. Lizzo was the performer and the singer. Now this was like pre-Lizzo.
Yeah, she wasn't famous yet.
She was not famous yet. She had a song called Phone. She had a song called Excuse Me. Like she hadn't had any hits yet. And she was known then for kind of having attitude, not being that nice. It has nothing to do with the color of her skin, nothing to do with her gender, nothing to do with her size. It just was what it was. And I'm like, I don't expect my celebrities to be that nice all the time. I don't expect her to be that person. Who cares?
But she was like mean before she even had the celebrity to justify.
Yeah, she kind of had an attitude then. So
a lot of times you have to be
What do you mean
mean.
by she was rude? Like, did you have an encounter with her?
The person who planned it said she was rude and difficult to work with, and then was supposed to stay and talk to people, and then allegedly didn't. I mean, we're talking about 2017, 2018. So that was just something that stuck in the back of my mind. And then when I would hear stories through the years, because I felt like stuff was bubbling up with Lizzo for actually quite a while before the lawsuits, but then she just got sued by I think 3 of her dancers, and now she's being sued by this. Like the thing about the dancers though is she was telling them that they were gaining weight allegedly and they needed to lose weight. It's like taking weight loss advice from Lizzo is like taking driver's ed from Stevie Wonder. Like some things you should never do. It's true.
It is true, however, though, that like whenever celebrities act out, I'm just like, I expect them to be bad people a lot of times. It's why we would laugh when we would talk about Gwyneth Paltrow seeming inaccessible as a celebrity. It's like, as long as you embrace it, I don't care. Yeah. Like, as long as you embrace the fact that, and I think that's where there's a big difference between men and women, is they make a lot of complaints about like when women act bad, they make a big deal out about a big deal about it. When men do it, they don't seem to care. It's like, yeah, because the men embrace it. It becomes part of their persona to be hard-nosed, right? Whereas the women want to, front load a persona of kindness and virtue while then being awful behind the scenes. And you should have that same complaint about men who front load virtue and kindness while being awful behind the scenes. But as long as they embrace it and they don't pretend to be something they're not, I guess I don't really care.
Yeah, I think
you choose to work for them.
Right.
That's what's so perplexing about the Russell Brand thing, because his whole
shtick.
persona, his whole shtick was like, I'm a maniac sex addict rock star who does whatever he wants. I'm disgusting and a pervert. And like,
I wonder if
we're
anything's going to come out like David Duchovny eventually, given that was like his
from
whole
Californication.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know him from the X-Files, but also from California. But that was his big thing in Californication, is because it was basically it was a true to life version. It was a larger than life version of what David Duchovny actually was, which was an admitted sex addict. I imagine that he's got more than a few stories that would not be good by today's
My thing is also, it's like, I'm an adult. I can separate the art from the artist. So I still listen to music, sorry you guys, by people who've been canceled. I still might watch Californication if y'all try to cancel David Duchovny. You know, I love him. He's a great actor. So I don't really understand this whole cancel culture. Also, the thing with Russell Brand is they were trying to cancel him, demonetize him, deplatform him. But aren't you innocent until proven guilty? Like, why are we just canceling someone now with absolutely no due process?
Not in America anymore. Now the media is judge, jury, and executioner, unfortunately.
It's
Well,
really
more
sinister.
so big tech is they dole out the consequences.
And I really do believe that for the most part, like, to me, I'm so numb to all the bad things that people like are accused of doing that I'll just watch any, like, Kevin Spacey comes out with a new movie. Fine.
Right.
I don't care anymore.
Amber
because,
Heard
like,
has a new movie coming out.
I'm still gonna watch what I just saw the other day, that Seven turned 20. The movie Seven turned 28. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch The Usual Suspects.
Well,
it's not gonna stop me from watching their stuff.
Like I've been saying for months, why are we holding celebrities to this high standard like they're moral human beings? I mean, these are people who protected Harvey Weinstein for years. These are people who rode on Epstein's jet to and from the island. I mean, why are we expecting them now, 2023, to be perfect?
Because they pretend to be now. The thing is, they're pretending to be better than they are. So it's like, I wasn't holding you to that standard before, but now that you're pretending that you're great, I will hold you to the standards you're setting for everyone else.
Right. And also people will go dig something up from 10, 15, 20 years ago and then hold it against them like it happened yesterday. And there really isn't any due process, any trial. My whole thing is like, if someone comes out totally guilty, they're found guilty and they're given a fair trial, I can accept that. But if someone's just, they say they've done something and there's no due process at all, I have a hard time canceling someone just off of a headline that comes out.
And most people have their own biases anyways towards who they think is innocent or guilty. Like everyone just kind of decided that Masterson was guilty. Everyone just kind of decided that Russell Brand was
from
being
70 Show.
and everybody else decided that Russell Brand was being railroaded. Most of us were not in the courtroom or not privy to all of the information. And I don't believe that most people did extensive research into it. They just kind of said, look, I don't like the look of this guy. Because I don't like him, he's guilty. Whereas we had a question the other day where I asked, I said, do you believe Russell Brand is innocent, guilty, or is it complicated? Look, it's complicated. And I think it was a majority said innocent, and then second was it's complicated. And I think at the end of the day, the right answer is like, it is a very complicated thing. And if none of us were there, we don't know.
Right.
We just don't know. So, but you know what? Since I don't like Lizzo, she's guilty. She's a bad person. Kick her off the internet. Get rid of her music. And ban her from the cafeteria. I don't want her anywhere near there. We don't want that here. So,
I feel like we should start a version of The View or a show like that, but it's just a panel of 5 people who've been totally canceled by pop culture. Like pick people like Lizzo and some others and put them on a panel. That's going to be a hit show. Like that's going to be number one show.
Who would you pick for that?
Who's been? I can't even keep up with who's been canceled recently.
It's I want
Everyone.
Louis C.K. on that panel.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. That's convicted in a court
Are we
of law.
talking
That's
about
different.
unfair
Yeah.
cancellation?
Yeah.
only? Okay.
So Gina Carano.
Yeah.
Louis C.K.
No, and Louis C.K. too. Like his whole brand was like, I'm a pervert and I'm a porn addict and I jerk off all the time. And he literally made jokes about doing exactly what he was accused of doing.
Or also like,
and everyone loved it.
you know how like Drew Barrymore and Bill Maher under fire because they were going to bring their shows back during the strike?
Yeah. Oh,
It's like,
yeah. They went crazy on them. for
maybe
that.
we should like force them into a studio to do a show together. Like you guys have to do a show together now. Like you have to sit there and be verbally waterboarded by Drew for half an hour. That's the new show.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be
Verbally
fantastic.
waterboarded. Love that.
There's I mean, a lot of it's like you said, like Roseanne. Roseanne's another one. Somebody said Roseanne.
Well, she
Like,
has a show on X.
a lot of people.
Roseanne's thriving though. Like,
Yes.
Roseanne's actually
Is her
everywhere.
show
So is Louis
out
C.K.
yet?
Like a lot of I don't think it's out yet, but a lot of these people they just had to embrace a new audience or a new method of
Right.
releasing their content and realizing that going through the same 4 or 5 massive conglomerates isn't the only way to make a living, especially if you've gotten the benefit of building up name recognition through those conglomerates in your early years.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tucker Carlson. Like he's doing so well. And I mean, TV is great, but alternative media is so much bigger.
Yeah, and it's just, but a lot of people, they crave what they consider perceived legitimacy from those mainstream sources. So I think that's a problem with it. But I would watch that show, canceled on some network.
Put all the canceled people, and we can rotate each season with who's been canceled next. Yeah,
be great. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe
subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.